Friends, Atmanirbharata is self-reliance. Swavalamban is self-sufficiency. They are independent of ideologies, either left or right, and have been used freely. Both are vehicles for happiness. In today's episode, let's explore if there is a third way of viewing our life based on the Hindu Dharma. Positive psychology, a basis for self reliance, helps one explore the self worth, self expression, self knowledge, and resilience, all needed for self acceptance, the way you are. It's not about doing everything oneself, it's not even being financially independent. Certainly not for shouldering every hardship alone. It's about a reliance on internal resources to provide life with meaning and fulfillment. In Atmanirbharata, our Sanskriti or our Sanskara, as enshrined in our religious scriptures, there is a certain conformity in our lives that can be very boring, stereotyped. We can challenge that through self reliance, self trust, and individualism. Cognitive, emotional, behavioral, interpersonal, and practical skills help us in that pursuit. Fear has no place in realizing these goals. Have collapse of communism and decay of capitalism left an ideological vacuum in the world? Should our economies be governed by the rules laid down in our scriptures, such as the Vedas, the Smritis, the Shastras, and other literature, or they should be guided by the Western principles? How does a nation become self-reliant in this context? Our legal systems are a drill down of the British model. So we must relook at them. Sarvam paravasham dukkham and sarvam atmavasham sukham. Anything that is there in others' control will lead us to agony and pain. And everything in our control will lead us to happiness. That is Atmanirbharata. Now, is there a third way of life? Will the third way of life advocate a different legal framework, like an indigenous, legal system? Will the change in outlook find favor with the provisions of the Constitution? Is there more to Atmanirbharata than what is being spoken about? Can we define within the framework of our Constitution? These are some very, very interesting questions. In May, a couple of years back, our Prime Minister had announced a 20 lakh crore rupee economic stimulus package under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. This is about 10% of the GDP. It enables collateral-free loans to MSMEs with a turnover of up to 100 crore rupees. A generous initiative during the COVID afflicted times, because it helped at least 45 lakh companies to buy raw materials and pay wages, allowing about 11 crore people employed breathe easy. Of course, they have to pay back the loans. There is also a conscious effort to remove the government oversight from industrial matters. Can this be the boost that we were all looking for an economic revival? The fine print focuses on the land, labor, liquidity, and the laws expected to benefit the laborers, farmers, taxpayers, MSMEs, and of course the cottage industry, the small businesses. Atmanirbhar Bharat is a campaign to increase the local manufacturing. Can such a campaign, along with the economic policies, be based on Swadeshi ideas? And can it make the country import free? Has the Western economies followed in the past almost 75 years delivered? We live in a globalized world. Either local markets must consume what is produced, or the products must be of global value, global quality, with a very competitive pricing so that they can be exported. After all, they must be fit for the global markets and be out of the protectionist markets. True to the new way of thinking, the government announced launch of commercial mining, which allowed private miners to mine coal and minerals from the same site without any limit and store them and price them without any regulatory oversight. Now, every action has a reaction. Whereas Coal India had a monopoly earlier, a large private participation could promote cartelization, price manipulations, and price escalations. Another division that has seen resistance from farmer bodies and left-wing farmer unions was to remove the state's oversight and deregulating the agricultural markets. Though waiving of the requirement for selling of agricultural produce in government mandated markets may be criticized, some protection from the agribusiness corporations, price support, and price stabilization for crops may be called for. Be that as it may, the economic package promised structural and marketing reforms in agriculture, which is extremely important. 30,000 crore rupees to small farmers through Kisan credit cards, 20,000 crore rupees to the welfare of fishermen, 13,000 crore rupees for vaccination to livestock, 1 lakh crore rupees for agricultural cooperative societies and farmer producer organizations, funding to post-harvest management, all did their part in mitigating the woes of the farmers, especially during the difficult time. However, on the demand side, one nation, one ration card has given credence to Swavalamban. Entry of private companies in strategic sectors such as space and atomic energy may also have a downside. The technology must be guarded and state-owned precisely for Atmanirbharata. The new self-reliant socio-economical order, also saw the launch of skill mapping of the workforce that returned home during the lockdown. A great initiative indeed to provide work opportunities closer to their homes. Several of these people are peasants, the managerial and technical cadres, employed artisans, agricultural and forest laborers. It must be ensured that all states in the country provide such opportunities and is not limited to just a few pockets. The country must strive for social justice as a natural corollary to Atmanirbharata. The 3 labor bills passed ensure greater operational flexibility to the employers, operational safety, health, and better working conditions for the labor. It is hoped that the industrial code and the social security code will bring a new dawn for the labor in the country. Several other provisions such as 30,000 crore rupees special liquidity facility for stressed, non-banking finance corporations or companies, rupees 90,000 crores liquidity plan to provide loans for power discoms, 5,000 crore rupees credit facility for street vendors, additional 40,000 crore rupees for Manrega to provide employment to the returned migrants are all noteworthy and extremely useful in the long run. The Swavalamban model supports the citizens. Self-reliance, self-responsibility and self-accountability are the tenets on which it stands. The citizens need to change their behavior and follow dharma, since the new pathway to development goes beyond the reforms of an economic model. Dharma is the unchanging, eternal, universal law and the ever-changing socio-economic order. Atmanirbharata also needs to lay great stress on research and development. We need to diversify the supply chains to attain self-sufficiency. Friends, India needs to find its own path. It can neither be communist nor capitalist. The answer lies in a third way, a path that is followed from dharma to lead a life of glory. Friends, I hope I have given you enough to chew for this weekend. Hoping to hear from you on my thoughts. Let me close this episode of the day. I will be interested in knowing your reactions on the channel. I will be back the next Saturday with yet another interesting episode. Until then, thank you, namaskar and dhanyawad.